Who'll be our next president? Polls say it's a dead heat between President Biden and former President Trump. And the more accurate betting odds say a Biden-Trump rematch is probable. That's odd, since most Americans don't like either man. Joe Biden is the second most unpopular president in modern U.S. history, and Donald Trump is even more unpopular than Joe Biden. There is a good reason people don't like them. Trump is mean. You're a nasty person. That guy's got a serious weight problem. He mocks people. Who? I don't remember. He hires people, then calls them incompetent. He stiffs contractors and often doesn't pay the little people who worked for him. And finally, he's just divisive. Radical left lunatics, maniacs, and perverts. But Biden is divisive too. Running for office, he promised, "I will draw on the best of us, not the worst." But now that he's president, he attacks his opponents as full of anger, violence, hate, and division. Both Trump and Biden lie to us. Trump lies even about unimportant things, like the crowd at his inauguration, the ratings of his TV show, even about winning a non-existent Man of the Year award. And of course, he lies about big things. We won this election, and we won it by a landslide. But he knows it wasn't a landslide, and reportedly knows he lost. This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle. But Biden is deceitful too. When Georgia said voters should show an ID, Biden said, "This is Jim Crow on steroids." He kept repeating that. Jim Crow 2.0. But that's just not fair. Jim Crow stopped black people from voting. After Georgia's law passed, 0% of black voters in Georgia said they had a poor voting experience. Why is it that Joe Biden is the first in his family ever to go to a university? Biden has long lied to advance himself. He wasn't the first in his family to go to college. He plagiarized that line from this British politician. "Why am I the first Kinnick in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?" Biden's plagiarized again and again. The quality of our education, the joy of their play. The quality of their education or the joy of their play. He lied about his law school performance. Ended up in the top half of my class. Biden now concedes that he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class. Joe Biden ranked 76 in a class of 85. It seems like yesterday the first time I got arrested. Anyway, Biden lied about being arrested at protests. He was never arrested. Biden also says, "I used to drive a tractor trailer," but he never did. This year, one lie caught up with him. For years, Biden refused to admit he has a 7th grandchild until withering media scrutiny made that too embarrassing. The worst thing about both men may be the corruption. Former President Donald Trump indicted again. I don't like political prosecutions, but so much of what Trump does is just sleazy. Paying a porn star hush money, then lying about it. Refusing to return classified documents and lying about that. Pressuring Vice President Pence not to certify electors. And whipping his supporters into a frenzy about it. But Biden's corrupt too. "My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about, China?" But in court, his son admitted he made money from China. For years, Biden claimed, "I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their business, period." But he was involved with his son's business, says his son's business partner. Hunter Biden would get his dad on the phone, and there would be business associates or potential business associates. Foreign nationals, and it was about sending a signal about influence and access and power. Train running on tracks, we're going to end and we're going to help. We have plans to build a railroad from the Pacific all the way across the Indian Ocean, a railroad across an ocean. Maybe Biden isn't lying. Maybe he's just confused. But that's disturbing too. His age, 80 years old, will certainly be a factor voters will have to take into account. He often shuffles when he walks, and aides worry he will trip on a wire. He stumbles over words during public events. On 60 Minutes recently, he committed America to a possible war. To be clear, sir, U.S. forces, U.S. men and women would defend Taiwan in the event of a Chinese invasion. Yes, the White House quickly took that back. When the President of the United States wants to announce a policy change, he will do so. He has not done so, but it was the 4th time Biden said that. Is Biden too old to be president? Hey, I'm old too, but I just make these videos. I'm not running for what may be the most demanding job in the world. I am a young, vibrant man. No, he's not young. He's almost Biden's age, but he found a doctor willing to say his health is astonishingly excellent. Mr. Trump, I can state unequivocally, will be the healthiest individual ever elected. Here's that doctor. He now admits that letter that showed up in the Times about his health, he wrote himself. Give me a break. I'm used to disagreeing with presidents' policies, but our most likely choices are just embarrassing. Can't we do better? We've been interviewing possible presidential candidates. Is there someone else out there you think we should talk to? Let us know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss that video.